All right, if we could have our commissioners turn their mics on if they haven't already. So this is a regular meeting of the Arts and Culture Commission. Today is January 17, 2019. Madam Recording Secretary, please take roll call.
Commissioner Garcia.
Here.
Commissioner Oliva.
Here.
Commissioner Oliver.
Here.
Commissioner
Cha. Here.
Commissioner Sierra.
Here.
Okay, seeing that there is a quorum, this meeting is officially called to order. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Ready? Begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, thank you. You may be seated. Okay, so this is time for the Commission to consider matters under the consent calendar. Items include numbers 1 and 2. Do I have a motion to consider items 1 and 2? I move. Does anyone second?
Second.
I'm sorry. Back up. Have any of the members had a chance to take a look at this, and are there any corrections to the minutes or items that they wish to pull for separate discussion or abstain on?
No.
No.
All right, so going back. So I have moved to consider items 1 and 2, and who was second?
Second.
Okay. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 All those opposed? Okay, so we have a unanimous consent, and the matter is approved. Okay, so we have one work study session. Please take note that there will be no motion or action taken on these items. The item is to review the Heart Link Arts Program RFP for the Link Temporary Homeless Shelter. Staff?
Thank you, Commissioner Cha. As you see in front of you, there is that RFP, and I sent that as well for you to review ahead of time of the RFP that we want to put out there to the public, that the Arts and Culture Office, along in partnership with Homeless Services from the City of Santa Ana, as well as Mercy House, who is running the Link, which is the temporary homeless shelter in Santa Ana, to put together a year-long program, arts program, for the residents of that shelter. And the purpose of that is to allow them a place and a space to express their humanity and to tell their stories, as well as give them a chance to have something to reflect on, and then also have a way to go beyond that shelter, to be able to get out of there. So yes, we'd like to fund that program that would be multidisciplinary. So they would have a chance to dance or create theater, music, poetry, that sort of thing. So it's not just men and women, but their children too. So it would be all inclusive, and as you saw in the RFP, that they must create activities that are accessible to all ages and all abilities. So I'd like to ask if any of you have any feedback for this RFP before we make it public.
So what is the deliverable?
The deliverable would be a one-year program, no less than 48 weeks. It'll be a weekly workshop for 3 hours. So 1 day a week, 3 hours during that whole workshop for 48 weeks.
Okay, so are the results of these workshops going to be on display for the community to see, or what's
I'm not sure how much the public is allowed into these facilities. It's more for the residents there, for them to be able to have a safe space to create these. And then eventually, yes, that's a good point. I think we can consider some kind of public exhibition. I'm not sure yet especially if they have visual art or something that we can publish in terms of writing. So that's a good point.
Well, yeah, I'm just thinking, I wonder if, just for me personally, if, the homeless shelter and the issue it's in and of itself is pretty a hot button topic, and I know there's a lot of finger pointing of, who needs to be responsible for what, and, where different monies are gonna be coming from. And if we're talking about $20,000, it's not enough money to solve the homeless problem, but it is quite a bit of money. And typically in the past, when we've had different RFPs for different projects or whatnot, there's been some sort of a deliverable. Not all of them, but a lot of them have some sort of tangible deliverable.
It was brought up by the homeless service manager that if they can have a component in there that has some kind of survey or something that would show the retainability of these residents too, meaning so that until the residents complete their services there in terms of finding housing or jobs or something, so they don't just leave halfway, if perhaps these programs can retain them so they can complete that component. So maybe a survey or something of that.
Well, I think we're going to need to tie something tangible into it because, otherwise, I hate to sound really heartless, but this just sounds like an expensive art program, which is great, but, when you're talking about a hot button topic like homelessness, and we're probably going to have people who don't even want the shelter where it is anyway, but,
Tangible.
Yeah, we've had other projects like this where we have artists going out into the community working with the children and stuff like that, but it's been for much smaller grants and dollar amounts, and so I just worry from a public perception standpoint. I don't want it to just seem like we're just giving out money for people to, do art in homeless shelters. Not that there's anything wrong with it, but it's city money, and I would like to see some sort of a deliverable or something tangible that's attached to it, whether it's a survey, whether it's a public exhibit, whether it's a collection of stories that's published, admitted, or online to kind of humanize the homeless,
Yes.
But something, I think we need something.
Okay, yes.
That's my thought.
And even though this is a year-long project, but it should still have some kind of tangible result.
Well, yeah, I'd like to be able to follow up at the end of the year and be like, how was our money spent?
Okay.
And, what kind of result, came about, right? Literally, even if it's a little collection of short stories, something. Right?
Okay.
As opposed to they did their art, they took it away, we don't know where they are, they might still be in the streets, they might be, in some program. I just don't want the money to just go away without something being reported back.
Yes.
I think the survey would definitely help bring in maybe some successful stories from that, and then having them come back to maybe teach or collaborate or mentor the next generation of homelessness for the following year.
Okay.
To create something like that would be very helpful.
And the money is going to be going to like a nonprofit or some third party, right?
Yes, it's going to. It's open to individual applicants, a group of artists, or a nonprofit organization to apply.
So I think having some sort of a deliverable or some sort of reporting would be great, because I don't know how popular this program is gonna be, and I think there's no way for us to even know. So if there's like one person or like 500 people, we need to somehow assess the effectiveness or the reach of the program.
I have a question. Has it been done before in other cities? Something like this?
I haven't really, at one-offs, I've heard, and that's coming from the homeless service manager. She said that she would do, but it wasn't sustained for a whole year. It was just, come on in, do this. poetry workshop with the women here, then leaving, and then that would be it.
200 beds.
But she said it was very effective when that did happen.
No, I really do like it, because I think it does offer these folks some sense of, I think, normalcy, and doing something that is not necessarily reflective of their current situation. So I do believe in the program in and of itself.
I definitely see some powerful stories of some folks from there, and great art is going to come out from that. So I'm excited to see that.
Yes, yeah, me too.
We definitely want to support.
I was talking to an artist once, and they were saying how what he was dealing more with human trafficking, and how one of the girls, she wrote a story, and the whole story, the image that she remembered just in the car was all the signs of the street whizzing by, because it gives you chills just thinking about how these kids, what they have to go through.
But we need to hear those stories, or we need to know about them. And so I think I've made my point.
I do agree with Jessica about having at the end of the year some maybe a showcase of the arts or crafts that they developed through the year, some type of exhibit, and we can make it public and publicize it and see the good that the city is doing for their homeless population. Myself working for social services and working closely with some of the homeless population, we have about, they did a count, the point of in time count last year in 2018, the beginning of the year, I think it was in March.
Yeah.
And we have about 5,000 homeless on Orange County. Some of the documents you provide to us showing that at least the city of Santa Ana has at least 1/3. We have 16,000 homeless on the city, just alone. And so, in the majority also, so we can have and focus this, the majority are single men. We have some families and children, but I believe we also can focus when we decide who gets the grant, maybe find something, aim for this type of population for single men, which can be very, in one way, can be very rewarding. It can be something very positive in the long run for them, being introduced to the arts, and maybe we might have some artists within the homeless population, some over there, so I don't know. But I believe it's a very good program as long as we attach this tangible, this value at the end of the program so we can continue.
How often do you think we should have some kind of showcase? Because we don't have to have it just at the end either. Do you think it's reasonable to ask for something in the middle and then something at the end so that give people a chance to see what's going on, or even
That's
more
tangible, right?
Yeah,
That's what we want
I mean, I
something.
think quarterly would be nice, but
Quarterly?
that's probably a lot of work. So at least maybe twice,
Yeah.
once in the middle, once in the end. And the other question that I had is, how was this $20,000 number selected? And it seems like it's only for one grant. Has it been considered to maybe make it up to 20,000
Yes.
between 1 and 0 recipients?
Yes, it's up to 20,000, and in fact, we were open to having accepting multiple proposals.
Okay.
So if different people can bring different components, and it could total cost 20,000.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, actually, that was one of my questions as well, because I put right here how many maximum can be participating, and how many is the minimum once we select some of these applicants. And I will like to see that the money is spread out, and also, as you see, is a weekly 3-hour only per week for the whole year. So I was thinking if it's only one, it will be kind of like difficult, but if we have at least 4 or 5 participants, it will be very beneficial, and they can set up a schedule, a calendar, at least go into the shelter. We can have activities 4 or even the 5-day-a-week activities instead of only once or twice. So that's my reasoning when I read the documents that you sent us. So that's the only thing I can recommend.
Commissioners, another option that we can look at is a shorter term, whether we make this a 6-month, almost a pilot project, where after the 6 months we evaluate and say we can extend it for another 6 months, but after those 6 months we can find out that, there's not a lot of participants, there's not a lot of people that want to engage in these classes, so then why would we continue for another 6 months? So that could be an option if we wanted to just take it 6 months by 6 months.
I think that sounds great, because, I can see a lot of interest in this. I can also see that this would be sometimes maybe very low on the priority list, so I guess it would be good to see. I would also like to see some language maybe in here, as Commissioner Sierra was mentioning, maybe specific groups within the homeless population. So whether it's a youth program, or it's a men's program, or it's a families program, that maybe you encourage the applicants to describe or articulate who their target population is. I think that would also be good to know.
One question, you mentioned opportunity to grow out of the homelessness. What do we have? What do we have that would entail that?
I think just for them to be able to be seen as a human being, and through these storytelling, perhaps know that they have certain skills, or be able to see some positivity that would keep them to take advantage of the services offered by Mercy House, who's running this temporary shelter. Then for that to be able to, instead of just everything's hopeless, everybody sees me as trash or whatever it is, then now with this empowerment, they can move on.
Okay.
And I think to that effect, having their work somehow, even if it's anonymously showcased or somehow publicized, I think could be very rewarding, so they're not just sticking it in their bag and, walking out of it.
Exactly. Then they're validated. And
Correct. Anyone else have any other comments or questions or concerns? Okay, so then, I guess now time for comments. Does anybody in the public have any comments they wish to share? There's a 3-minute limit. Sir?
No.
Okay, does the staff have any comments that they wish to share with the commission? Commissioners? No? Okay, and
I have a comment. I just
so I think we're gonna. I'm sorry. Does staff have any comments? No. There's no public comments. No staff comments.
Yes, I do want to update just a couple things to commissioners. Just to remind everybody that there is an artist mentorship, part of this artist mentorship initiative that we want to start, starting with a writing workshop, partnering with Crea Studio in the basement of Grand Central Art Center. This is going to be led by Sarah Rafael Garcia, and she will be, and she is funding this, so that it's not, no funding is coming from the city. She will be mentoring artists on writing their reports for grants, because I think a lot of artists, once they get the grant, they don't know how to report out on it to the funders. And so we're also thinking for ourselves, when they have to write reports for us. So this would help them improve their writing that way. And so far, about a dozen people have signed up with her. So so it's open, free and open to the public.
They don't have to be. They don't have to be Santa Ana residents. Make
Not
them an
necessarily,
invite.
but
Okay.
yes, it's encouraged, Santa Ana residents. So they're meeting on 2 dates, January 24th and February 7th. And I believe I sent out to most of you, if you can encourage people to please attend that since it's free. But I know the newer commissioners, I might not have had a chance to send it yet. And then also on your desk, you'll see that there is a packet that I've opened up to a review of the fiscal year 2018-2019 of the Arts and Commission Office accomplishments, so that you have that to see that what we've done in the past year. If people ask you, your constituents ask you, like what has this office done since hiring Tram or the arts and culture specialist. So right there is a snapshot for you to see, and as well as the whole packet talks about all the accomplishments of the Community Development Agency as a whole. And that's it for my comments.
Okay, so Commissioner members, this is for Commissioner comments. Please note that this is a time for brief updates, comments, and suggestions for future agenda items. No member may speak more than once until all have had an opportunity to speak. Also, the Commission may vote to limit our comments to 3 minutes each if we feel the need. I don't think that will be a problem, but let's go through this. Commissioner Garcia?
Great work, Tram. Thank you. That's
Thank
all.
you.
Commissioner Oliva?
I just want to say that I'm happy to be here, and it's my first day, and this is really exciting.
Commissioner Oliver?
Just want to say I'm happy that you brought those things to the forefront to think about, as far as how we're going to prove that it's doing some good in the homeless situation.
Great. Commissioner Sierra?
I'm just very happy that we're going to have this program with the homeless. I haven't seen any, with social services, I haven't seen any arts programs being included on when we visit some of the shelters. I see that they do exercise and other kind of activities, counseling, things like that. But the arts, I think they've been kind of like neglected a little bit. So I'm very happy, and I think it can be an example maybe for other cities. So I think the city is doing great things, especially in this direction. So I'm very happy to be part of this committee. So yeah, thank you. And thank you for the good work with sending us all these documents so we can get a better idea and take better decisions.
Thank you, Commissioner Sierra.
Okay, so first off, I want to welcome Commissioner Oliva. I think we have Oliva and Oliver in the last two meetings, so it'll be easy to remember, I think. Just be like Olive. One of you guys will respond. We do have our listening session that is calendared, scheduled for tomorrow. It's our first listening session. Tram, can you remind me of the details?
I'm sorry?
Can you remind me of the details of the listening session?
Yes, the listening session is a chance for the community to, for us to present to the community the master plan itself, and then also to get feedback on which initiatives they feel they would like to prioritize and how they can be involved in helping us accomplish those initiatives as well.
So tomorrow we're doing it at...
Oh, tomorrow we're doing it at the Southwest Senior Center. Yes.
Like that.
Yes, yes.
At 5?
From 6 to 8. And it will include arts workshops for children, in case there are parents who need to bring their children there after work, then they can be taken care of while the parents participate in the discussion. And there also will be food and drinks.
Address is 2201 West McFadden.
So I will be there.
Oh, yeah.
And hopefully we will see some of the other commissioners in attendance as well. We're going to be going around to each ward, so I would hope that you would at least show up to the one that's in your ward. We also have met with regards to the Youth Arts Leadership Program that we're putting together. Commissioner Oliva, I don't know, if you probably are not brought up to speed on it. Are
I
you?
actually was Tram giving
Yeah.
me information on it, and it sounds amazing.
So, I don't know, I guess we'll open it up, to, to the new commissioners and, Commissioner Garcia and Sierra, if you guys would like to be involved, please, let me know. We had a pretty intensive, planning meeting on Saturday, and we've got a nice outline together, and so I think, just let me or let Pam know if you guys would like to be included in all that. And I think that's it. So this concludes comments. This meeting is adjourned. Please take note that our regular meeting will be scheduled for Thursday, March 21st. The February meeting is canceled. The items from the February meeting will be carried into the March meeting.
So that's our next meeting.
Correct. So, yeah, February will not be moving forward. 21st? Is that correct?
March 21st, correct. And I think we're going to be reviewing some of this as well.
Yeah. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.